Hello, everyone, and welcome to the real cost of bad MRO data and how to fix it in today's uncertain supply chain environment. My name is Carlos, and I'm joined today by my co-host Brian. Today, we'll be discussing the real operational and financial impact of poor MRO data and what organizations can do to improve visibility, reduce inefficiencies, and make better decisions. Not the textbook version, but the real one, the one that keeps people up at night. I know that because it has kept me up at night too several times. We're going to do some Q&A at the end. We'll have about ten minutes or so. Please submit your questions anytime using the Q&A panel on the bottom of your screen. If we don't get to your question during the session, we'll definitely follow up with you afterward. And we'll also be sharing with the recording with all the registrants by email within the next 3 business days. With that, we'll do a quick set of introductions. I'm Carlos Gonzalez, account executive for MRO here at Remsoft. I am a buyer by trade, by designation. I am a CMP, supply chain management professional. And most of my career has been spent inside or alongside supply chain organizations. So when we talk today about stockouts, lead time, volatility, and item master chaos, that's the world that I've lived in and not the one that I'm reading off a slide. Brian, go ahead.
Yep, my name is Brian Smith. I'm the manager of MRO services with Remsoft. Been with the organization for about 15 years now. I've played numerous roles throughout the organizations during that period of time, directly working with clients' data in an analyst capacity, doing several implementations and providing ongoing support to numerous customers for several years, including lots of professional services that took me to a lot of different client operations throughout the globe. Over the last several years, I've been overseeing that team that's responsible for services on the MRO side of the business, in particular, thinking through implementation-based work and ongoing inventory optimization programs as well.
Thank you, Brian. So here's what we're going to do for the next half hour or so. We'll tell you a little bit about Remsoft. I promise it's going to be quick. Nobody sign up for a corporate brochure. We'll dive into the part that actually matters, why MRO is so important right now, and then the very specific challenges of managing it well. We'll talk about where the money really goes, and I think some of those numbers are going to land really, really hard. From there, I'll walk you through how we help asset-intensive industries fix it. I'll share a customer success story that I'm genuinely proud of because it's mine. So I'll share that. And we'll cover why partner with Remsoft, why partner with Remsoft, and then we'll open up the floor for some questions. At any time, please send your question again through the chat on the Q&A section on the bottom of your screen, and we'll address those at the end. With that further said, so let's start with the title, the real cost of bad MRO data and how to fix it in today's uncertain supply chain environment. You know that phrase it has done a lot of heavy lifting since the 2020s. It's almost a cliche now, but for those of us in these professions, it's not an abstract. It's tariffs. It's a supplier in one country going dark for 3 weeks. It's lead times that used to be 6 weeks and now quoted at 16, if you can get a quote at all. And against that backdrop, look at the 3 numbers on that slide. Potentially $1 million in hidden cost annually for every $1 million of MRO inventory that you're holding. Read that twice. We're not talking about the cost of inventory itself. We're talking about the cost it generates by sitting there badly managed every single year. 60% of stockouts trace back to bad item data. Not bad people, not bad planners, bad data. Duplicate part number, a missing classification, a stale lead time. And the one I think it most quietly damaging is companies underestimate their MRO losses by 3 to 5 times. So whatever number you're carrying in your head right now for what MRO is costing you is probably lot by a lot. So my job for the next 30 minutes is to make those numbers feel less like statistics and more like something you can actually do something about it. And I hope my business case, my real story, shed some some light on that. It actually works. So, quick who we are. Remsoft is headquartered in Canada with regional offices, partners in US, South America, and Australia. Remsoft MRO has been around for 18 years. If you recognize Activity, that was prior to Remsoft acquiring it in 2020. And we serve customers on 6 continents. So we've seen a lot of stockrooms. Asset-intensive companies like pulp mills, sawmills, mining, energy, manufacturing, they come to us when their MRO supply chain is hurting. We help them improve parts availability, optimize inventory, and run a more efficient operation. And the way we deliver that is not just here, the software, good luck, goodbye. It's a combination of 4 things. SaaS platform built specifically for MRO optimization, advanced analytics that turn your data into decisions, professional services for the heavy lift project, and managed service layer where our teams work alongside yours month after month, executing the optimization cycle. That last piece is important. We'll come back to it because the technology is the engine in MRO, but the partnership is what makes the engine actually run. We'll discuss that a little later. So, okay, so let's see. We're going to do a little bit of a poll. So, how you pick on your screen, how many of you have experienced any of these feelings when you manage your MRO? We don't see who's your name. It's just completely anonymous. Let's just have some fun with it. There's a few questions and alongside what's your biggest challenge in your MRO today. So pick one from the top, pick one from the bottom, and then we'll see some results here. We'll leave it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's close it. Okay, let's see if we can see the results. Okay, so yes, frustrating, reactive, under control. Okay, good. Overwhelming, definitely. So duplicate part numbers, poor or missing description classifications, lack of usage or demand history, lead times, and we're not sure where the problem starts. Welcome to my world. Perfect. Okay, so we can close that one. So out of these, if you've managed or you've been close to stock rooms, these words on the screen are very, very familiar, as seen on the poll. Um, I know sometimes you feel like you experience all of them in one day. I know I have, and by the end, it's a definite headache for me. And that paradox, that is a cruel one. Millions of dollars tied up in inventory, and the part that you need on the day that you need it, it's not there. That pump goes down at 2 in the morning. The bearing is not on the shelf, and someone's on a flight chasing a hotshot delivery costing thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, 3 aisles over, and you got 8 of the same bearing collecting dust on a different part number because no one recognizes it. I've seen that firsthand. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you are not the problem. The system you inherited is the problem. Most MRO inventory wasn't designed, it was accumulated. 20, 30, 40 years of decisions made by people who had good intentions and zero visibility into what already existed. So when we talk about the cost of that MRO data, we're not pointing fingers. We're just naming what most of you already feel. And that's where we start. Okay, so let's see where you are on the inventory management scale. In my career, I've been anywhere between 1 and 2. And later, after engaging Remsoft, we were 3, almost aiming to level 4. I'm yet to find a level 5. So if you are here, please raise your hand. So I would love to meet you. But most of us are anywhere between 1, 2, 3, or 4. So setting that up, and you just look down below. It's not a matter of where you are, but a matter of where you can be and the estimated time to achieve. There's a cost efficiency tied to this. There's significant cost savings attached to better materials management. So we'll show you how to achieve that. So where does the money actually go? So this is per $1 million of MRO inventory, just 1 million. And every one of these costs is measurable, avoidable, and rooted in data quality. So carrying costs, I don't need to tell you much about it. Um, Capital tied up, warehouse inventory space, taxes, handling, shrinkage, um, about 200,000 evaporating annually, whether the parts move or not. Obsolescence, another huge one. Um, so equipment they served has retired. No one has taken those parts out. Specs changed. So it's just a write down. Labor inefficiency, another huge one. This one is invisible on most P&Ls. And that's why it's so dangerous. That technician walking the storeroom for 40 minutes trying to find the system and find the part. Or sometimes that plant is just running spreadsheets outside of ERP system because you can't trust the ERP. So multiply that across your workforce every shift, every week. It's a ton of money. Expedited freight, it gets me every single time. Hot shots, the premium, the air freight, same thing. Couriers always triggered by a stock out that better data would have prevented. And then the last one, the production downtime, 500,000 to over $1 million, depending on the industry. So one pump, one bearing, one cylinder. These number really dwarfs everything else on the slide, and is the one that makes finance leaders sit up straight. Now, here's the thing: if I'm a CFO and I'm looking at this slide for the first time, my reaction might be, "Well, that's a lot, but surely it's not all of it." And you'd be right to push back different operations, different exposure, but the structure is universal. Every MRO operation has these five buckets. The only question is which ones are bleeding the worst. So um, it all traces, if that's a symptom, what's the disease? Bad data. That's traces back to that one thing. So specifically for item master quality, the item master is that central record of every part you stock. What is it? What does it cost? Who supplies it? How long it takes to get here? Where it lives? What equipment it serves? When that record is wrong or incomplete, everything downstream is wrong. So four partners we see almost everywhere. Duplicate part numbers. Exact same physical part listed 3 or 4 times under different numbers. I've seen it so many times. Oftentimes with different descriptions, different reorder points. So your real on-hand quantity is split across records. No one's reconciling. System says you have two, you actually have 11, or far worse, the system you have says you should have 11, and then you actually have zero. That's worst case scenario. Missing classifications, again, parts without proper noun modifier descriptions, without manufacturer references. So when your technician searches for a valve, 2-inch brass and finds nothing, well, that's because the record only says valve or something different. So they raise a purchase requisition and a brand new identical part lands to the one that it's already on the shelf. What a waste of money. Stale lead times, again, it's a huge problem with planning. Lead time field hasn't been updated since the early 2000s. Supplier moved manufacturer and lead time doubled, but your replenishment still triggers on the old number. The reorder point's too low and expediting becomes a default mode of operation. In my case, I've seen lead times of, let's just pick 5 because I like number 5. Yeah, it's 5 days for everything. And it never helps that. Um, and no demand history too. So unusual history, reorder points set by gut feel, not by science. So without real usage data, every parameter is a guess. and guesses at scale are very expensive. So none of this is a software problem at first, it's a data problem. And until you fix the data, no amount of technology is going to save you. You have to fix the data. So, um, why is bad data so corrosive? Well, it doesn't stay still, it compounds. Step one, the wrong item record. Step two, a bad record creates a false inventory signal. Step three, fires too late or doesn't fire at all. Your replenishment logic is doing its job based on bad inputs. Step four, an emergency purchase, expedited freight, premium pricing, phone call to the supplier asking for a favor. Step five, and sometimes not always, but often enough to matter, unplanned downtime. Production halted, 500,000 to $1 million or more in exposure from one wrong record. And look at the bottom of the slide. This entire chain is preventable. Every single link. The chain is what makes MRO feel chaotic and expensive. But the chain is also the opportunity because if you break it early, the savings cascade in the other direction. So stop losing money when your data to data you could fix today, which brings us to the fix. And I want to be careful here because in our industry, there's a lot of consultants and software vendors who will sell you a magic wand. We don't sell magic wands. We sell a methodology that works. I can prove it because it has worked with me. So three pieces in order. First, a data audit and cleanse. We come in, we run our analytics over your item master. We found the duplicates, the gaps, the misclassifications, and we do that quickly. We don't need 6 month engagement to tell you the truth about your data. Second, a catalog enrichment. We standardize descriptions using a non-modifier structure that your technicians can actually search and use. We added attributes that prior you didn't have, didn't need it, you need it, didn't know you needed. And we link those records to supplier data. The catalog goes from a junk drawer to a working tool. And third, the optimization engine, our Pulse tool. Once the data is clean and enriched, we apply the analytics that turn into smarter replenishment, lower carry costs, fewer stockouts, working capital released. We'll look at a sample of your data and tell you what we see. We'll show you the business case. Now, Brian, I think you're going to take these slides.
Yep, perfect. Thank you very much, Carlos. What I really want to walk through now is kind of the practical side. So how we go from we know we have a problem to we have a plan, we're going to execute against it. The foundation of everything we do starts with what we refer to as an MRO health check. Think of this as kind of like a checkup with your doctor. We look to understand where you're at, what could be improved, and provide a plan moving forward for improvement. The health check delivers really four key things. So first, it tells you how your MRO supply chain is performing today through analyzing your data. Second, it provides a detailed business case. We don't just flag the problems, we quantify them in dollar terms. Leadership needs to see the ROI before they'll commit resources. And that's exactly what this document provides. Third, we help identify the highest impact improvement opportunities, whether that's reducing excess inventory, improving part availability to help mitigate the risk, reducing expediting costs. All those are elements that we put a focus on, so then that way you can help prioritize where to focus those efforts. And fourth, we help align your resources. So, very important thing is defining stakeholders and getting the right people in the room at the start to ensure overall program success. Over the next couple slides, what I'll do is I'll show you a quick sample of what a health check looks like, just to kind of give you a bit of a preview. So this is a representative output from a health check engagement that's been anonymized. What we're looking at here is a visual summary of inventory health across a client's operation. So we're looking at metrics such as your inventory breakdown, dead stock percentage, stock out frequency, and things such as the rate of new item additions as well. In addition, we're breaking down opportunities in terms of stock increases to help mitigate that risk. where opportunities exist to reduce excess inventory and improve your cash flow, and other areas such as optimizing your ordering values and how best you can improve your lead time accuracy as well. The value of this view isn't just in the numbers, it's really within those actions that we described that can help achieve the desired outcomes that your organization is looking for. So, from a leadership perspective, this kind of visibility often doesn't exist today. Reporting oftentimes in organizations is very manual, it's tedious, it's slow, it can be full of discrepancies at times, it can be inconsistent from one operation to the next. So, really, what we do with the health check is we provide that view that can be consistent, reliable, and the true source of truth in terms of where inventory is today and what those opportunities look like as well. So next, what you're seeing on this page is the new item addition rate profile that we often look at with clients during the health check phase. And this one tends to generate plenty of conversation. So what we're showing within these charts is how many new parts are being added to your catalog over time, broken down by period, and also a breakdown between moving and non-moving inventory. Well, the profile looks pretty straightforward. What it really reveals is critical. So, most organizations have no real governance over how items get entered into the catalog. Parts get added reactively, a technician needs something, a purchase order gets raised, a new item record is created, and that happens dozens or hundreds of times over the course of a month, with no standardized description, no classification of the part, and no review on whether the part already exists under a different part number within that catalog. When you start to plot that trend over, say, a 3 to 5 year horizon, the pattern is almost always the same. The catalog grows steadily, and at times, inventory is being added without adding any actual value to the organization. In fact, every uncontrolled addition is a future obsolescence risk and a future duplicate. And that's where the importance comes from really um, having that view of potential systemic problem in terms of visibility. So oftentimes when leadership sees addition rate trends, the connection is immediate in terms of the root cause to it. It's a situation where the catalog is growing at the front end and accumulating obsolescence on the back end, and there's no governance process in between to help stop that. These insights that we help provide organizations through the health check really starts to shift that conversation from do we have a problem to how do we go about fixing the problem, which is exactly where we want that shift to occur. The final page of the health check that we're going to show as part of today's sample really shows the business case summary, the output that really helps fund programs and helps to identify that true value in terms of dollar terms. This is where we bring together everything we found and translate it into a financial impact. How much inventory can realistically be reduced and what that releases in terms of working capital. We also show the timeline to value. So most clients see measurable financial impact within the first 3 to 6 months of an engagement with an inventory optimization program, making the program very self-funded with an ROI achieved easily. This is the document that often goes to leadership that helps provide that very clear business case in terms of engaging in next steps. And I'll hand it back over to you, Carlos, to go through the next section.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, so now I want to tell you about a customer, and it's me. I used to work for the past 10 years with a big forestry company here in Canada. So when we're talking about all these challenges and costs and issues, uh, that was exactly me prior to Remsoft activity back then coming into play. So, but we have about 45 different operations across the US and Canada. We engaged Remsoft in early 2020. Um, and when you look at these numbers, 50% inventory growth over 5 years, $50 million added across the portfolio with no deliberate decision to invest. So if you go today to your CFO and say, "Hey, can I get $50 million to put on inventory?" You're probably going to get a boot, a really fast getting out of that office. Definitely not. But, we did it without any decision to invest $50 million. That is a ton of money tied to capital, where it could have been used elsewhere, way much more efficient. And the problem is not uh, having capital, but it was having that invested and not generating value back to shareholders. That is where the problem lies. So, um, inventory growth just happened side by side, little by little, decision by decision, no one connecting the dots. Roughly half of that inventory was dead stock, parts untouched for 10 years or more, no formal critical spare classification, 10 to 12% annual carrying cost in space, labor, and overhead, reactive purchase every single day, hot shots flying across the country, huge money spent on that. And despite the fact that we were holding an enormous amount of on-hand inventory. Now, did I knew those numbers? Yes, on a very regular basis. However, I could not have ever done the type of analysis that Remsoft did for me. I have Excel spreadsheets all over the place with 45 different operations. It was taking me days to compile basic KPIs that would have presented to senior management. And when one of them asked to see a different view, I would just go in complete meltdown because it would have taken me another 5 days to do a new view on that data. It was incredibly tasking to present those KPIs on a monthly basis. I hated month end because of that. So um, we engaged Remsoft. They came and did an MRO health check. They validated the numbers that I was showing on a regular basis. Not only that, but they did even further analysis, lead time, critical spares, share spares, etc. So the analysis was amazing, and that was what put us across the finish line. That business case that senior management understood, not only that, but also the timeline, the effort, and the ROI in the end. So, um, operational benefits, incredible. 5 days of my manual task replaced with real-time automated dashboards. Critical versus non-critical parts were formally classified and protected from cost cutting pressure, because when you don't have critical spares identified, then everything is game. Everything should be moving. And if it's not, then it's a recurring question to maintenance and operations. Why are those parts not moving? So it's cutting that pressure out of the maintenance teams. Standardized purchasing and inventory practices and documented across all sites. And the managed service team was embedded in my then back operation, executing the optimization cycle at scale every month. So why did this work? Well, I want to say because health check, like I said, it gave leadership that third party validation. Critical spare classification meant the inventory reduction didn't accidentally damage reliability. Finance-led obsolescence provisioning removed the budget incentive to leave dead stock on the books, and the managed service was the execution engine for was effectively a two-person team running 45 plus sites. I could never done it alone. So by my own calculations, if I did it alone, it would have taken me maybe 10 to 15 years, um, when it took 3 years for Remsoft to help me achieve these results, over $3 million in savings, 16% inventory reduction on one operation. The success was incredible, and I would not be here if I didn't have good things to say about the tool, the team. So I'll be happy to share more if you choose to. You can always reach out to me. So that is my success story, and I'm really really proud of the team and everything that we accomplished. So here again, we were swimming in parts, yet we never had the part when the equipment broke down, just like the first slide was saying. So now a quick acknowledgement because one of our clients, Tom Klim, from I think he was signed up for the webinar. If you're here, Tom, thank you. He prepared this slide for his organization, Ontex, which is a global paper manufacturer, and it's a big client of ours. And it pretty much summarizes the process for success. So there's no rush, no drastic changes, organized reviews, build stakeholder trust and repetition. I mention these because in our industry, methodologies don't appear from nowhere. They come from practitioners who've done the work. So credit where credit is due. So thank you, Tom, for this one. It takes time, it takes effort, and it's through small reductions that you would achieve your inventory that you want, the optimized inventory, while building that stakeholder confidence. So it's all about you. It's your business rules, it's your data alongside our algorithms, and through that partnership, you go from a high inventory to an optimized inventory. So, Brian, do you want to take this one? Do you want me to do this one?
Yep, that's no problem, Carlos. So now shifting gears a little bit to really how the inventory optimization program starts and it or is supported on an ongoing basis. It really follows a seven-stage approach, and the important thing to understand is that these stages aren't linear in the sense that I do it once and then you're done. They're really a continuous cycle to ensure ordering values are regularly refined based on changing demand and supply conditions that meet the business needs. It all really starts with the data extraction. So we start by pulling your item master, transactional history, on-hand inventory from your ERP systems. We work across numerous different ERP systems, including SAP, Oracle, Maximo, JDE, and many others as well. So once we've received that data, it starts with the cleanse and the business rules that have been defined with the organization during the implementation stage. This is really where the data quality meets the road in terms of validating that everything is accurate. We build rules that reflect your operations, your business needs, and any nuances to ensure that the suggestions produced by Pulse are sound. Next moves into the optimization stage, where once the data's been cleaned and those rules have been defined, our calculation engine calculates optimal reorder points, min-max levels, safety stocks, recommendations, and such for each and every SKU within the catalog. There's numerous different parameter settings that play a role in terms of influencing those recommendations, and it's a very flexible, agile system to support and make sure that it's aligning with the business's objectives. After that, we finalize any sort of business constraints, conduct quality assurance checks to ensure that the recommendations are both practical and implementable from the client's perspective. And next is the stage that really helps to start driving those results, and it's very much the client review stage. So client will log into Pulse and start reviewing those recommendations. We never automate without our client's alignment in relation to that. So we provide recommendations and support your inventory controllers and planners through the decision-making process on what ordering value suggestions to prioritize and which to implement that are aligned with the underlying objectives of your operation. The key thing during this phase is very much we provide data and subject matter expertise support during that review process. But the big thing as well is really the client's operational knowledge too. So ensuring engagement within that process when we think about end users is absolutely key to success for this stage in the overarching program as well. And next is the data upload component. So once recommendations have been approved through Pulse, we then load them back into your ERP system to automate through automation tools, I should say, and that will help inform the replenishment process that occurs in your ERP system on an ongoing basis. And last but not least is the governance component, which we'll talk a little bit more in the next slide. But this is oftentimes a crucial and often underestimated step if we think about programs such as inventory optimization. This is where we really help protect the value. So the way we go about doing that is things such as providing monthly reporting, KPI tracking, as well as exception management that our team helps support through our managed service support methodology. Really, without the governance component, the value of the program can become eroded without corrective measures being taken. With it, you're building a self-sustaining program that is supported by our service delivery team on an ongoing basis. So next up here, just let me take a moment to talk about the governance side more specifically. It's really what separates us from a lot of our competitors and separates the optimization program from being a one-time project to really a sustainable program that continually provides value for clients over the course of the engagement. So often engagements generate a report with recommendations. If we think about across other organizations, those recommendations at time, they'll sit in a spreadsheet. 6 months later, people have moved on. Nothing's changed. Nothing's improved. And that's really not what we do. Part of our goal is to ensure clients are getting value out of the program. So our governance model is really designed in such a way to provide you full visibility over the life of the program, not just a point in time snapshot. So with this, you can see what was recommended by Pulse, what was acted on by the end users, and what's the financial outcome in those instances as well. Our service delivery team is measured based on the success of our clients. And what that really does is ensures there's a vested interest by all parties to work towards common objectives there. That means when a client is investing in that tool, they'll know that it's truly in partnership and will be working towards the same goals as that they have with the program. So what we're really doing at the end of the day is really tracking those recommendations versus the reality and the delta between that of what we suggested and what actually got executed by users each and every month. We make it visible, and this really helps ensure accountability to those that are responsible for conducting those reviews. We also provide that level of detail at location level as well. So if we're dealing with an organization with several operations, you get complete visibility in terms of who are your strong performers and where there's some instances for improvement. The reporting layer is really designed to be in a leadership-ready view, clean visuals, language in terms of dollars, and also being really able to assess the outcomes of that. So the ultimate objective behind this reporting mechanism is that so individuals such as your supply chain managers, VP of supply chain, CFOs and such can easily open up the scorecard and understand the program's health within less than 2 minutes. And through this monthly cycle that we produce, we're tracking continuous program health. So if we see any sort of drift or deterioration occur, we oftentimes catch those early to help identify the steps with clients to get back on track with the program. The governance aspect is really absolutely key in terms of our optimization program and providing a durable solution. And that's really the key differentiator between our solution and others. Not only are you getting the technology, but you're getting the people support and the underlying governance that helps ensure its success. I'll hand it back over to you, Carlos.
Thank you, Brian. And just to reemphasize this one, because I've lived on this world of KPIs and data governance. One of my personal pet peeves when talking with my vendors is, and we do a review, a business review. They start by telling me how much sales they've gotten and how much more sales they've increased over year. You know, don't tell me how much you're selling me. I can run a purchasing report and I can do that myself. Tell me how much money you're saving me. Tell me why should I partner and keep partnering with you? And this slide talks exactly about that. How much money Remsoft is saving your company by doing the work they say they were going to do and partnering with you. So it speaks loudly, especially when talking to your senior management, because they didn't give you the amounts of dollars that you needed to hire Remsoft just to go happily spend that money. They expect a return, and this is where you show the return. If it's a real temperature gauge, if something's not working, let's fix it. If it's working, let's move on and let's see how much more we can squeeze out of the inventory. So it's very much real time data that you can present to your management. And if you know what, if they have a different view they want to see, the Remsoft team can put it together in no time. So I think Brian mentioned, and if he didn't, the service delivery team is there to be abused literally because they have data at their fingertips. I've done it before, and it was lifesaver for myself. So we're almost at the end. So why partner with Remsoft? So this is a combination, I put this together, a combination of my own experience plus what I've learned being inside this team, and what differentiates us from our competitors. We know the marketplace is full of, there's significant good tools out there. There's some amazing tools. However, Remsoft brings something different to the table. The flexibility is second to none. That customize the understanding of your needs, and make sure that we can input those into the tool, into the dashboard, into the reports. So that is priceless in my mind, especially in these ever-changing supply chain. What was true yesterday, it might not be true today, and I need a different view, and I need to update lead times, etc. That flexibility, we can do it in no time because we are there with you, shoulder to shoulder. We're not just, well, yeah, we'll see when we can get to you, maybe in 3 to 6 months. Definitely not. It's days, if not hours, to reply to your needs. The adaptability as well. So we can working with you, we understand your specific needs, and we can cater to those. We have clients in the other side of the world, 12 hours away from our time. So you need a business meeting at 11 o'clock at night. We'll do a business meeting at 11 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. We'll adapt to your needs. You are the client, and we're there for you. So that is true adaptability in real time. Now, the partnership. So this is where we are embedded with your team, not at a vendor at arm's length. We're there shoulder to shoulder. So you have a dedicated range of service delivery. You have Brian, you have myself. You have hundreds of years of combined supply chain experience helping you. We've been there. We understand. We've seen it before, and we can bring those learnings to your table to help you improve your materials management. So we can do on-site visits, so we can do it remotely. We can do however you want it to do it. The bottom line is to maximize that and increase the ROI that you're going to get out of these. To the last point, typical implementation 4 to 8 weeks. It all depends on your data, on your availability, on the business rules that you provide to us, and understanding that operation. And the payback 3 to 6 months on a $1 million inventory baseline, and about 20% carrying cost recovery on each dollar of the inventory released. So like I said at the beginning, the software is the engine, but the partnership is what makes it work. That was true for me. It was true for my operation back then, and it's true for any of our current clients and any of you that are yet to come on board. I highly encourage you to reach out. We want to understand where your problem is and how can we best solve it. So with that said, here I just wanted to make it in bold. We definitely do not sell software and walk away. I've seen so many of those examples. So here, take these back with you. That partnership is what makes it work. So we have Q&A, and I think there's one or a couple. Please feel free to send your questions. We'll be here for another 5 minutes or so. So first question is, what was it like working with the Remsoft team, and how much effort was required for you and you want and the site to implement? Did it align with what was promised? So working with the Remsoft team was nothing short of amazing. Um, in Back in that time, it was Kevin Gates. He's now still with Remsoft, but on a much larger role. He took time to come out with me. We visited a few operations. We wanted to understand not only the data, but the intangibles around it. We met with buyers, with maintenance managers, with general managers to understand what their individual problem was. So we try to define a picture of the culture. So data plus culture put together into the MRO health check. And Kevin back then was able to produce an amazing document that was presented to senior management, and it got the approval right away to be implemented. So now from there to the work that it took, I think it was, by my own calculations, it was about 3 hours per week per person. And we had a couple of resources, an inventory person at site working directly with maintenance and operations. So what Remsoft offers is not just a data dump and well, you go figure out it's a data analysis and a guideline of where the biggest carrot is. And then we move from the biggest to the medium to the smallest. But we want to achieve the biggest returns at the beginning because that's where the money lives. So working with Remsoft, we were able to tackle the biggest items first. It gave maintenance and operations and supply chain a chance to look through those in scheduled meetings, our meetings, going everybody at the table, going through the decision making, having the data in front of them in a form that makes sense, usage, BOMs, lead times, descriptions. So everybody understood what the part was, and the decisions were made right there on polls and then uploaded at the end of the month or at the end of the period to review to be entered into Maximal. That was our system of record. So level of effort, yes, important. It was and it came down from a general manager to schedule those meetings and have them regardless of what was happening at the plant. So it was a clear path to success, and the team implemented it, and hence the results in the end. So it was amazing to work with them. It did align with what was promised. Yes, 100%. I can't believe the number. I can't remember the number at the top of my head, but yes, it did align with what or originally promised, or it probably even beat it in the end. So, hello, I missed part of the webinar. Can you please share any PDF presentation of information? Yes. Yes, if you sign up for these, you will get the presentation and the recording on an email and we'll love to follow up with you with any specific questions you might have. Like I said, at the middle of the presentation, we can analyze your data free of charge. If you give us a sample, we'll tell you what we see. It's going to be a little kind of blood test that you do at the clinic, and we can tell you where we see some of the symptoms. If you want to fully engage, then we recommend definitely having a full MRO health check being done with all your data, purchase orders, inventory, item master issues, BOMs if you have them, or work orders if you have them for the past 3 or so years, and then we can clearly give you a picture of where you are and the expected results that you can expect and the timeline to achieve. Okay, thank you. Looking to record presentation for sure. Quite informative. Thank you very much. Let me see. Anyone else? if we want to start improving our MRO data, where should we realistically begin? Well, that's a super big-ended, open-ended question. I would say critical spares are a huge problem challenge, and that's where I would definitely put my finger on first. You have to identify your critical spares. Otherwise, everything is critical and nothing is critical at the same time, which is a paradox. But critical spares, where you want to begin, you want to talk to us. We can analyze your data. We can give you a clear roadmap of how we can help you achieve that. You're not alone. Doing it alone involves a ton of resources, and you're pushed every single day to keep your plant or your operation running. Um, with the benefit with Remsoft is that will give you a clear indication of where the steps that you need to take. No guessing, no false starts. You do one step and then you do the next and then you do the next. So that is how you improve your MRO. So where do you realistically begin? Give us a call. We'll be happy to talk more with you. Okay, anything else? I don't see any more questions around here. It's been an amazing time with you guys.
We have one more question there, Carlos.
We do?
Yep, here I'll read it for you. Do you guys
Okay.
have you guys done any projects in fertilizer, mining, or agriculture industry? Any example if I can find on your portal?
Go ahead, Brian. You have more experience.
Absolutely. We have extensive experience in particular around the mining industry. It's a major industry that we've helped support over numerous years, as well as some in fertilizer as well. As far as examples go, we'd be happy to provide you some white papers, and I know we have some collateral in particular amongst those industries and how we've helped them. So we can certainly connect with you, Mohammed, and provide you some of those details.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is that regardless of your industry, spare parts apply to every single kind of industry. And that's why we've worked with so many, uh, from mining to forestry to every one under the sun has a, a portion of the challenges that we are talking. Some bigger, some smaller, but the bottom line is still the same. So whether you're fertilizing, mining, or agricultural, uh, we know spare parts and we know how to help you. So it the business doesn't matter. The spare parts behaves very similar, and the behaviors are very similar. So we'll be happy to help you. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Anything else you see there, Brian?
But I think that's it.
That's it. Okay. So, here, guys, let me, there's a, there's a quick, QR code. If you want to learn more, we can get your information. Feel free to reach out. We're gonna, reach back, with the recording and the presentation for you guys. And, we'll follow up with a personalized message, to understand, where you guys are at and how can we best help you. We'd love to engage with you on a one-on-one basis. And that's it for now. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Be safe out there, and thank you for your time.
Thank you all.